Cool.
Yeah. Did it say that we're live now? Cool. Let's see. Let's make sure. Oh, okay. It's flipping back and forth between us. I see. Okay, cool. That's my first time doing that, so I just wanted to make sure I had it right. Alrighty. So, doing well today. Ready to get
Yeah.
started. Cool. This is Nick, everybody. So, I'm sure have you seen one of my videos before, one of my type diagnostic sessions?
No, I think I've seen other types of videos, but not this type.
Okay. Okay, cool. No problem. Yeah, so I usually start with a pretty broad question. So the question I like to ask is if if you had to describe yourself in one way, what's the thing that if you didn't say, it wouldn't really be you?
So something that I do say that is myself, and if I didn't say it, then it wouldn't be me.
Right. Like it's just so central to who you are. I'm looking for something that you would say is
I think that um okay, I think maybe a word to to put for this little thing, maybe like sensitivity of some sort, or like around that for like myself and people. Um I think I've heard that a lot growing up,
Mhm.
not just me telling myself, but like told to me. Um, and I've come to sort of appreciate it. But I don't think I go a day without having that part of myself be there. Yeah.
Hmm. Okay. So sensitive to yourself and to other people. Sensitive to
Okay, I wouldn't say to myself. I
okay.
think that I didn't mean that part. I think sensitivity when it comes to just other people, because for myself, like I don't really care. Like I do care, but I like don't really care about like my own sensitivity when it comes to me and things and people. Well, I do. It's more so like people. I think just for me it's just other people focused, but not really like myself and like my own stuff because I don't really care like about myself on that level, I think. Yeah.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay. So you care a lot about how other people are feeling, and is it about their feelings? What are you being sensitive to?
Um,
It will, sorry, I'm going to reframe my question a little bit.
okay.
That kind of implied that you are being sensitive to them. Um, Whereas you might just mean that you are sensitive in the sense that you feel what they feel, or like, you see what I'm saying? So you tell me.
I think with other people, I'm gonna mainly think about how I've like in the past. I'm usually when there are situations with other people and whether it be an argument or a conversation, in one-on-one or with a group, I tend to be like I take the situation like as if it's like the biggest thing happening in the world, like in the current moment. And so me being passionate about a topic or like seeing people be passionate about something, but we don't agree. If they start to feel upset about that or like start to harbor an emotion from that, I tend to take it really personally, or like I like relay it to like my own. It's pretty like immediate, or I always like shift with that. I feel like, yeah. I
Hmm.
don't know if that made any sense, but
It made sense. So you said you take it personally. So can you tell me what you mean by that?
um, I feel like I have good intentions going into interactions, and so if that's not, let's say I'm having an argument with someone, and I'm fine with like trying to like figure out stuff together, and I know that at the end of the day, like it's a conversation or an argument to like get to a line of thinking that's somewhat similar. And so if that person starts having that relate to their like starts if they start taking that somewhat personally, what I mean personally is like if they start getting really upset or like taking it out of the conversation sphere and more into like, oh, this is hurting me,
Mm,
I feel that too, and I almost feel kind of like responsible for that, and so I need to fix that.
mm,
Yeah.
mm. So when you first said that and you said that you take it personally, I kind of got this impression that you were saying that like, their bad faith almost made you upset and so you didn't want to deal with it anymore. But it was actually the opposite, right? That you feel responsible to, ease it.
Yeah, I want to deal with it. Like I absolutely cannot stand like cutting something off and never talking about it again with somebody when it
Right,
comes to something that I've done or talked about them with, or when it
right.
comes to friendships or like family relations, like being like, we're not going to talk any, like, let's stop this conversation, like station. It like drives me nuts because I want to like figure stuff out. But um, yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Okay. So it's the unresolved conflicts, it's the unresolved tension, that sort of thing that you feel like deserves, or you feel like a compulsion, I guess you could say, to, give that time and attention to like to work it out, to iron it out, maybe.
Yeah, because that's just like my primary focus. I feel like I get if there are more important things about to happen or that need to get done or something, which I don't really care about. So I feel like I'd rather like it's my main focus to try to figure things like that out
Mm, mm,
in some way. Yeah.
mhm, mhm. Okay, cool. So generally, you seem to care about the people that you interact with. Is this
Yeah.
is this anybody, or is this like the people that are like close to you?
It's kind of everybody. Now, I'll say that like okay, I just want to say this. It kind of sucks that like I've looked a lot of this stuff and like theory, so I feel like anytime I explain stuff, then I have these like then I
Ideas.
like draw my own conclusion from it, and I'm like, shoot, I'm like clearly
Talking about.
like yeah, and it's like oh, like I just wish I didn't know about it at all, but Okay, sorry.
Sorry.
Like okay,
Well,
but
here's what I'll tell you. Just
uh-huh.
you don't have to worry about all that. I would say, maybe you do, call on it every now and then because you know a little bit about it. I wouldn't worry too much about it. I would just focus on, being honest
Yeah.
and just trying to recall your experience and just explain that in the most authentic way possible. Like, a lot of times when I do these, I don't even like have a sense of where I'm going. I just feel like I'm learning somebody, you know what I mean? So this is really more about you, right? I actually kind of feel one of the cool things about this is that I get to do two processes at once. Like on one hand, like I'm really connecting with somebody and like getting to know somebody. And on the other hand, there's like I have to consider that in terms of like socionics, right? And then sometimes ask questions that only pertain to that. But a lot of times I just enjoy like the conversation of getting to know you. So uh, just,
Okay.
whatever feels like the most natural way to talk about it, I would just do that.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you remember what the question was again?
I think I think we covered that. I think we should probably pick something else. Let's see.
Okay.
Um, what do you like to do? What kind of stuff are you into?
Um, One of the main things that I've done my whole life is music. When it
Mm,
comes to music, I like played piano from a really young age and I still do. I've tried other instruments, but piano's been my main one. Um,
I'm envious.
and so I did I was classically trained for a long time and so that was fun, but then like the past few years I've been just doing more of like whatever I want to do because I also stopped having lessons and
Mm.
yeah. Um But with that, I've been able to like explore a lot more sounds and like ways. I like exploring what sounds good and what not good. Sorry, that's not what I meant at all. Like, like ex seeing how things sound or sound dissonant or sound like it's like different stuff that like you can make that work. It doesn't just sound plain bad or good, but like try to like find some weird like middle ground with that and with music in general. Same with words because I've been writing like lyrical content for the past few years as well, and trying to find a balance between, like I said, something that sounds very like conventional, like you have your like classic like song that sounds super corny, cheesy, and then you have your like song that's super like out there, super genre specific, and I like finding balances between the two, or at least I try to think that like that's kind of like my goal, but like sometimes I just sit down at the piano and I just play the same songs that I've been listening to over and over again, and it's not I don't get there, but that's like my goal.
Yeah.
I kind of put it off, but yeah.
So you're like, it sounds like you're experimenting, right? Like you enjoy like finding these different like subgenres and stuff. And like,
Finding them, but like sticking to them, I can't because I like don't. I like recognize my comfort zone, and it's just like I don't know. Like I'll think that I'll enjoy it, but then I'll listen to a song. I'll be like, I'll come back to this in a few months.
yeah, yeah. Okay. Um, yeah, so I thought it was pretty cool when you said you were like classically trained and stuff. Do you feel like there's like I know like a lot of times in like music, you have like the people who are classically trained, and then you have the people who just kind of like they're just doing their own way of things, I guess. Do you feel
Uh-huh.
like, it kind of sounded like you were describing that you're trying to get into more of that, right? Like from
Yeah.
like the classically trained to like more improvisational and like a more like go with the flow kind of music.
Yeah.
Is
I
that
suck. I used to suck at improv, and I like am slightly less bad just because I do so much of like press record and just sit down and
yeah,
just do
yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
I've been trying to push myself in that direction the past few years, but you're correct, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like there's a lot of ways to do that. Like I know you can find I'm sure you can find groups of people that are like musicians and stuff that like to operate like that. But also I know a couple people who like they would go to the church. And I think like the church is very much like that. They have to improvise quite a lot. Because like
Okay.
sometimes they just they go, I don't think it's like this. I mean, I guess it depends. Probably if like you went to like a Catholic church or something, it'd be more structured.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that's cool. That's really cool. So you play
Thank you.
piano and you play what else? Was it just piano?
I did violin lessons for
Wow,
6-ish years
that's pretty
and
cool.
then I'm not great at it. I can like still play like a song or two, but um
Violin's tough, man.
and yeah, but not when I'm playing it. Okay. Okay, just know that.
What do you mean?
I'm not good at it. I don't think I
I
am.
said it's tough.
Oh, tough. I thought you meant like tough, like, oh, it's like a super tough instrument, like as in like, okay, I had mistaken the way you used the word tough. But okay, but I play that. I started learning bass about a year ago because I wanted to get into something totally different. I've never really tried a string instrument except for ukulele,
Hmm,
which I know
that's
how to play ukulele pretty well. Like I think I can play it pretty well. Um, Guitar, I'm not great at. I've tried. Six strings is too much for these fingers. Like, I don't know. Like, I just can't, like,
It's a lot.
yeah.
It's a lot.
It's,
I've
but
put a
yeah.
little bit. Yeah.
Do you
I'm
play an
not,
instruments?
well, okay. I mean, I play, I don't play a lot. I don't play often. I really want to get into it. I know that it's important to me because there's been moments where I get into like a zone and like I can just, it's almost like everything that I'm doing, like it's almost a different place. That's what I enjoy, but I've only ever really experienced that like one time. Because
Mm,
I'm not very good. And then there was just this one time in particular where I was playing and it was like I remember like it started to sound like a Western, and I was like, this is cool. And then it just started flowing out of me. And then when I was looking on the screen, the sound waves like of the guitar that were like showing up on the screen were like they look like plateaus in a desert. And so like you see
whoa.
how like my mind like went to this other place and I was like, what? Like this is crazy. And so like that I think is what makes me want to go back and do that more at some point. But I don't mess with instruments that often. I like flute too.
Uh-huh.
Flute is cool.
Flute, that's cool.
I think flute is like a very like not like a traditional or like classic flute, I guess, but like there's this guy online. He's called Eric the Flute Maker. He's got a YouTube
Okay.
channel and he's got like a website. And he's just like this old guy in Florida who has like a bamboo garden and he like makes
Yeah.
his own flutes and like he has like these really cool like melodic flutes where you don't really have to know how to play flute. You can just like you can play it in any order and it sounds good. Um,
Wait, that's so cool. I want to
it-
try one. What?
yeah, but he makes like these different vibes. Like he does one that's like he does like he's got an Egyptian one, he's got like a Native American one, he's got like Chinese. Like I used to have one. It got chewed up by my friend's dog, but yeah,
Oh, what?
I had one that was like a deep, like resonant, like almost like something you'd hear in a samurai movie, you know? And it's just got that like intense like tone. Yeah, like cool flutes. Definitely
Now
worth
I'm
that.
trying to imagine the sound waves with that, with the flute too
Yeah,
now.
right.
That's so cool though. I'll search
Yeah.
him up.
Also what?
Yeah. I'll search him up.
Okay, yeah, yeah. No, he's cool. Anyone that's listening should definitely check him out. But yeah, so I like music. I just haven't gotten into it a lot. I think I'd probably be better at like writing like lyrics or something than I would the instrument part. But I'd
You
have to
think
go.
so?
Yeah, that would come more naturally. I actually am writing, so
Oh,
like a book. So that
that's
stuff,
so cool.
yeah, yeah. But um, so very cool. Yeah, I envy the ability you have with instruments for sure. Um, that's a cool thing. So, okay, cool. So, you seem to describe that you have a desire to do a lot more improvisation in the way that you like play your music. I think like the way you described it was like you often play the same kind of song or like you'll play the ones like uh rather than like necessarily like finding yourself like playing something totally original or like random or unique or something like that. Is that accurate?
Pretty much, yeah. When I try to do the improv, listen, I can do improv. It's just whenever I do it or I try to do it for like a short period of time, it can sound too like derivative of something I was listening to, or that's an album that I've been listening to a lot. And I
Uh,
like,
That's you overthinking it.
no, it's not though. Like,
Oh, it's not?
you don't get it. Like, I think
Okay.
for real though. No, I'm kidding. But like, yeah,
Maybe I
like
don't. Maybe I don't, but it sounded like it could be something you're just like, oh, this just sounds too much like that.
that's
Um,
what I always think though. I feel like sometimes I overthink in the music sphere when I really shouldn't. And people are like, when I sometimes play with my friend Marcus, and like he is a lot more, will do his own thing. He'll play songs, but he'll do his own thing, and he inspires me in that way.
mm, mm. That's cool. So, who was
Thanks.
that you said?
Sorry,
Who was that? Who did you
my
say?
friend.
Oh, okay,
Marcus. Yeah.
cool. Do you play music a lot with him?
We tried to a lot this last semester. We even performed songs together, like one of my own original songs, and then like we were gonna do his, but then it ended up not happening.
Mm,
But yeah, yeah,
cool. That's cool. So,
thanks.
so you play music. What else do you do? What other kinds of things do you like to do?
Um, I mean, I like researching topics that I'm interested in, which sounds like anybody, or I feel like most people do, but like when I hear how much of like a nerd I am compared to some of my friends and like with stuff like this, I'm kind of like, oh, okay, maybe not. But um I used to look at random things when I was younger, like I would go on Wikipedia and I would watch these like kids shows and I used to look at like the episode titles and like just look over information about the episode or try to find fun facts about it. And I kind of feel like that between that and then now I've somehow liked just only stuff that I'm interested in because like if you get me to research a topic about like I don't like research in like a formal setting. I feel like I hate research projects. I'm not good at sources and like validity of sources and then integrating that into my own argument. Like I really don't like that. Like it's really frustrating for me. But if it's like a topic and I just get to like absorb info and think on my own, I kind of like that.
Mm, mm, cool. What kind of topics do you like? Like what are the things you're interested? Tell me about some of them.
So one of them, I mean, obviously like stuff surrounding like socionics theory and then also like that's one I'm not going to talk about that because that feels too like meta in this whole conversation but like what are other things I like um I watch a lot of reality shows like do you know Survivor?
I've not seen that one, but someone was telling me about it the other day.
Survivor and Big Brother are two shows that I like a lot and
Heard of Big Brother. Yeah.
they're very similar. They're both run by CBS and I like, I mean, watching the shows is fine, but I like hearing podcasts talk about like the strategy and the past players and the different situations throughout each
Mm,
week of the game and like um getting to figure out how their mind made up the moves that they made and then me like thinking about that and just researching these shows because sorry, like these shows are strategy focused
mhm.
and like long term Big Brother is like 3 months of just straight like strategy for
Yeah.
like the entire summer and so um I listen to like daily podcasts it's running right now daily podcasts about like what's happening and like where each person's thinking and all that stuff I like that's a form of research I don't know if you would call that a form of research but I do like that
It's an interest for sure.
yeah
What do you find so compelling about that?
I think that I think that listening to like how people make their like let's say someone's like some strategic mastermind like whatever some BS like that like getting to hear how their minds jumped from thing to thing and like figuring out their thought process is like really cool I think because I think we all kind of do it differently and getting to like hear that and like think about it in tandem with like my own way of thinking or knowledge is really interesting. And it varies because there's so many contestants on these shows. So you get to hear about the good move that the horrible person or horrible bad player made, and it's like, wow, how did they get there? And then, um, I mean, I try to think how did they get there, but a lot of times I just hear other people's feedback, and I like to hear about group consensus online about that sort of stuff. But yeah,
Yeah. Huh. That's pretty cool. So it's the strategy, it's seeing their thought process and how they approach the whole situation. Those are the things that you find interesting, right?
yeah.
So and it sounds like it is that you find it interesting and not necessarily that it's like something you're like passionate about necessarily.
I've never thought about those two words side by side like that. I'm passionate about, sorry. Oh,
You're good.
um, I'm distracted. I'm gonna go close my window.
Okay, no worries. I had a neighbor was mowing the lawn a second ago. It's passing by.
Wait a minute. So you get that? I don't know. I just need to focus. But it's interesting. No, but listen, at my school, I do a lot of work around reality TV. Like I'm in a club and I'm running it, and it's related to Survivor and Big Brother, and we run our own versions of basically these shows on campus and all these things.
Oh, wow.
And it's really fun. But and I played our version of Survivor for like the whole semester. Like it was tough. Like it was a lot of manipulation and gaslighting and being misled and like all these things. And so I would say I am somewhat passionate. However, I don't know which part of it you mean I'm passionate about. Do you mean like the show airings or like the inner workings of the strategy like I was talking about or like what? Because
I
I
think I
find
was just
myself both.
trying, I think I was just trying to evoke you to talk about it more deeply. But
Okay.
you did kind of do that. You revealed to me that you do this at school too, that you guys have set up your own version of the show, which is really
I
cool.
did.
Um,
Thanks, yeah.
so now I understand a lot better like why you would be so invested because you've got to build this out and you've kind of got your skin in the game in the sense that you're playing it as well. So you're like taking notes, right? Of like how they're doing these things.
Y- Yeah, and but it's so hard to like apply it because every situation sort of feels unique to me in my head, and I have to remember that it's okay. What if I feel like some people are better? Oh, okay. This rabbit hole, I don't know if I want to go down. Never mind.
Why not?
Because we're talking about strategy here, and I feel like that's
So it doesn't matter.
I
Don't
don't
think
want to talk about strategy.
why not?
I feel like it's too related to like I'm like revealing a lot of like my thought process, and I don't know if I necessarily want to through this outlet. I don't know.
Okay, so
Yeah.
so long as you're not worried about like leading me a certain way or to a certain type, like or something like that. Like I'll respect if you don't want to talk about something, that's fine. But
No,
like
that's what I mean. No, no, it's like not personal. I just like thought in this moment.
well, you can trust that I'm not gonna type you something just because you say you're interested in a strategy. Uh,
Okay, good.
it's often more nuanced than that. So, uh,
Right, right, right.
yeah. So I'm not gonna. You're not gonna fool me.
Okay, I trust you. I trust you. Okay, cool, cool. Anyways, yeah. What are we
So
talking
strategy.
about?
You were talking about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, in these games, okay, when I played this game
Hmm.
about a year ago until about December last year, I like I'm very like people oriented, like I said, so that helped me a lot with like getting people on my side and all these things. But thinking about how I would get step to step, especially if I were incorporating other people's strategies that I've listened to, that whole component of applying theirs to mine, I thought I was doing because I was like listening to like like all these things, but it was hard for me to apply it to my own game.
Hmm.
And I was more so focused on the relationships of the game, I think, which I think I'm just naturally better at than like, I don't know. To be fair, it was my first year in college, and so I was just barely making friends too. And like, the game makes it a bit like you make friends, and after the game, of course, you're still gonna like be cool with these people, but like in the middle of it, it does feel a bit not transactional, but like you are playing a game and you do have to realize that like when you're constantly meeting up to talk with people, like you like them as people, but it's a game and there's sort of if pieces in a puzzle.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. Yeah,
yeah.
I imagine that would be extremely interesting to be a part of. Um, I find that really compelling. I would enjoy that quite a lot as
I
well.
think you like it, yeah.
Yeah. I think the problem is that well, I got the impression from you that like it's almost hard for you to focus on like the tactical or like the strategic side of it just because like you're so focused on like connecting with the person. It
Yeah.
sounded like there was a conflict there. Is that what you were saying?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. I
However,
would
I
have
will
the
say
same
like
problem.
wait, you'd have the same problem?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah.
I would get too like I tend to get very immersed in the moment. And I think that I would probably be the kind of person to like break the fourth wall and be like, look, like I know how it might sound, but like I actually mean this. Like, you know what I mean? Like I would be the kind of person to just like be like, fuck the game. Like I don't know. It like when people share things like that, I tend to feel like it's important, you know,
Mhm.
like and maybe I'm, you know, in a game like that, I'm just getting baited and like, you know, it's actually a trap or something like that. I don't know. But like I
The
just
same could be said for you saying that I really mean this. That could also be seen as a trap.
right. Well, right. See, and there you go. And who knows, you know, you never know until you're in that situation, which is why I find the fact that you do it so interesting because you know, once you do get into the situation, who knows, my mind might flip into a different gear and be like, "Oh, like I have to convince everybody this, you know, and then I might become an actor. I don't know. I guess I would just have to find out from being there, right? That's
That would
why.
be so cool.
Yeah, it sounds fun. Why don't we all just, you know, take people from the typology community and go do our own reality show?
And listen, I do a lot of these on like Discord. Like I'm a part of like I've done I think three mini versions of these games where it's not like months, but it's like a 5 to 6 hour game
Yeah.
with like a lot of it's video calling and then it's also somewhat text based. And I've played around 3 times with these types of games. I've gotten better when it comes to like strategy or like being more of an active player. Because
Hmm.
when I originally played, I wasn't as active. I was more passive. I was more relationships, but also I didn't want to like approach people just to do game stuff because I felt like that'd be too much. But now I've like balanced that a bit better. But like I played these online games, they're fun. I'll say
Yeah.
that. Like if like in whatever amount of time you're like that's such a fun possibility. I don't know.
Yeah, about the typology thing.
That'd be crazy.
Maybe we'll do that. Maybe we'll host it on the channel and we can do a we can go do a game show and well because what makes it cooler is that like you can analyze the types as well, you know, and kind of see the different ways that they approach it and it teaches
Hmm.
you types and teaches you about people like in a more like demonstrative way, right? Like,
Yes,
you know. So
I
yeah,
think yeah.
that sounds like a blast. Like, yeah, I would definitely be interested in that. So we'll have to talk about that as well. Um, cool. Yeah, this is a very interesting conversation. So, okay, so you have a lot of like so far I've heard about the fact that you like to play like play music, that you play piano um and also that you like these like game shows and this is like part of your interest as well and you actually do it with a group of friends and stuff like that. Um, would you say you have a lot of different interests? Like, are there a bunch of other things that you like to do as well that like are you varied? Do you have a lot of interests?
I feel like from an outsider's perspective, it would look like yes. Um, because I talk about a lot of the stuff that I've like research. I say research, but a lot of the stuff I've like gone down rabbit holes online or in books about. But in my own head, I feel like I'm not that varied because
Hmm.
I feel like I lose spark with some interests. But that sort of means that it is varied. Never mind. I don't
What do
know.
you mean? Explain.
Huh?
What do you mean? Explain. You said it feels like you're not varied, but then you lose spark with certain interests. So you're saying it's still varied, but like you don't keep up with it, or like what?
Yeah, it depends. Like I've gotten into like phases with hobbies. That's sort of like my thing, but the ones that have stayed the same throughout like my life are like music, creative output with music, and then somewhat writing. Because I also used to write when I was younger, not like lyrical or poem or stuff like that, but more like
Mhm.
prose. Like I used to try to write stories. Those things have been pretty consistent, but then I can't think of any other like interests that have been super
Hmm.
consistent. Like I like to read, I like um biking. I've gotten into like weightlifting a little bit the past 2 years. Like I don't know, but I don't attach myself to those as like my identity, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's more so like these niche ones, like
Like,
like Survivor, like that stuff. Like
yeah,
it's
that's
more,
that's the one that
yeah.
you feel is more you. Maybe music as well.
Yeah, music is definitely, yeah. Oh, and language, totally forgot to mention this. I'm sorry. My main thing other than music is languages. I love learning languages. I'm majoring in linguistics. Um, and similar thing with music. Um, I just like figuring out stuff in my head when it comes to it. So like if I'm learning a language, I hate learning vocab because it's like just lists of like shit that I don't want to like don't it needs to be slower process for vocab, but I love grammar, which sounds crazy, but like I like grammar because I like thinking of like the structures and inputting different words to like make the structure work and maybe not work. And that part's fun for me. Um, so I like learning languages and also, yeah.
What
Yeah, that's
language?
like one of my main things that I think I identify with. Yeah.
Yeah. What languages do you speak?
Okay, this is hard. I hate this question because like
You're gonna get asked this one, bud.
yeah, because it's not like I'm fluent in all of them. Like I'm not fluent in all. That's not
Yeah.
the point. It's more so just like a hobby. Um, my mom's from Zimbabwe, so I speak the main language there pretty well, which is called Shona.
Mm.
Um, I took French in high school, and I think I can speak it medium well. Same with Spanish, which I took a year in, but then I started speaking with friends, and then like improving my conversational abilities for like a year or two, and then I feel like I can speak Spanish pretty well. Like if I was stranded, like I could do pretty really well. Um, I've been learning Korean for 5 years-ish. Which the past year I've just been declining. I've not practiced it at all. And so I'm just like losing a lot, but it can come out when it needs to occasionally. And there's random stuff. Like I can speak a bit of Russian, I can read Russian. I like learning how to read scripts. Like that's pretty fun.
Mm.
Um, there are
Russian,
some other random ones.
Russian is crazy to read as well. Looks nuts.
It's nuts. It's bad, yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. Actually, the interview I did before this one, that'll
Uh-huh.
premiere here, she spoke French as well.
Oh,
Uh,
actually,
a cool connection, yeah. So
cool.
I invited her to the Discord, so maybe you'll see her there. Um, but yeah, that's cool. Let's see. Hmm. So would you say you're creative?
Off the bat, I would say yes, but then I'm second guessing myself and saying no. And that's because I feel like I have a lot in my head that would be so good to have out in like form as in music or writing or some idea, but getting it there is kind of the hard part. And also because even when I play around with it in my head, it kind of goes away after a while.
Hmm.
If I have an idea. Um, yeah.
Okay. So you you kind of have to act on these ideas when you get them, right?
Yes. Yeah.
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 Yeah. Yeah. 'Cause you're not going to be able to like recall them or bring them back like the same as when you first got them, right?
Yeah, or to feel like inauthentic or not myself after a while. I don't know. Yeah.
Huh. Interesting. Really? So you think that if you wait a while, then it won't feel like authentic anymore. Like that's interesting.
Authentic being like okay, authentic might not have been the right word, but I think like it won't have as much impact in my or not like not as much novelty or not as much like oh this was a good idea than originally in the
Oh,
moment, which I
like
think other people can relate
the
to, like
excitement. Like
the
the
excitement.
yeah, you get like an excitement when you get an idea. And so then you're like, oh, I need to do this now. And if you wait too long, then like you got to strike while the iron is hot, as they say.
Exactly. I
Yeah.
think that's what I meant.
Yeah. That's cool. Yeah, I get that. Let's see. So how often would you say you get those ideas or those like inspirations, I suppose you could say?
Not super often. Um, I don't really know how to track their like appearance in my day-to-day life because I just don't really I don't so I don't really know. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
Um, so it's just sort of sporadic, but not super frequent.
Yeah, I'm usually like in more of a like yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
More of a what? What were you gonna
No,
say?
I don't even know. Like I'm like, well, I don't even know because okay.
Yeah, you don't have to answer that if you don't want to.
I lost what I was gonna say anyway, so that's
Okay.
cool.
All right. Cool. So what about your do you have a lot of friends?
Yeah, I'd say I'm really social. Um, I feel like it's hard for me not to be. Um, I do. And my problem that I've had a lot is like calling everybody my friend when like that's really not the case. Um, because not as much, I feel like I'm pretty optimistic about people. And I think I mentioned that earlier, but if it's not like brought back to me, I've sort of had like a rude awakening with the past few years, just becoming an adult. For context, I'm 19, guys. Um, yeah. Otherwise, yeah, I have a lot of friends.
Mm,
And now I still feel like now I'm getting better at like realizing who I really value.
mm.
But that doesn't stop me from like when I meet someone of I'm still gonna like put on that like face and like still do that like whole act. And it's really until down the line I'm like whether I choose whether or not I don't choose, that's so weird. But they either stay or they don't, and they can move to a more inner ring in my life and it just happens and I don't really like plan for it to go any sort of way.
Yeah. That's interesting. So like you kind of feel like that's just a natural process of like, you know, it's not like you make a deliberate choice about like whether someone is or is not going to be like get closer to you, I suppose you could say. You feel like it's just sort of something that kind of happens. Um, is that what you're saying? Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay. Um, when you were describing like putting on an act, um, I want to hear more about that. Like, do you feel like it's something that you're putting on because you're, I don't know, because you have to, or is it because you feel like is like why are you doing that? Yeah. Why are you doing that? Do you enjoy it? Like,
I half enjoy it, half don't. And that's because the enjoyment in me is like I like making that connection. I like doing all that stuff for the person, for the outcome that it can bring. And like having a new friend and like getting to explore a person like okay, that's so weird. Like explore like you know what I mean though.
yeah, I get
Like
it. No, that's not weird.
but the thing is that I feel like I'm always using that in general, like whenever I meet someone. Actually, okay, when I'm in, let's talk about like the public, like when I'm in public. If there's a stranger or it's someone a cashier, I prefer not to really do too much to, maybe it's a stranger, but like let's say there's a cashier. My mom is someone who would want to like talk with them like, "Oh, how's your day? Oh, you got a lot of things back there." Like that sort of talk, and I like really it I can't really do that. Actually, that's not true. I can do it, but I don't like doing it like that sort of like conversation like that. But then if I am with somebody, especially if it's one-on-one, I feel like I'm a lot better at, or even in groups. I like being in a group,
Mhm.
um, and getting to know people. I'm good at putting up that face. I can like for let's say I meet up with people at 4 until the end of the night, and it's like I sort of know them, but I sort of don't. I can like manage with them the whole time. Like I can put on that. When I say act,
Mhm.
I'll be honest, I'll just be very overt about it. It's like what, like nodding when they're talking or like
Right.
mimicking their like actions and all that. You know exactly what I'm talking about, so I feel like I don't need to like explain that, but that's pretty natural. It's very natural for me and I don't really control it. It just happens
Yeah.
sort of.
Yeah. I definitely get that. In fact, sometimes I do it without even actually hearing what they're saying. I
Oh
think there's,
yeah, yes,
yeah, yeah,
yes.
yeah. There's a part of me that knows exactly what they're waiting for. And so, like, my body and the way that I react will sort of just move in tandem with the way that they're expecting it, I think.
Yes, yes,
And
exactly. I
yeah,
relate to that so hard.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And then, like, I don't really necessarily know that, like, I don't know what they're talking about all the time because sometimes I'll start thinking about something else. And so, if that does happen, like, it's just, I tend to just pretend like I heard it and just be like, oh yeah, that's really cool. And then sometimes I'll be like, what was it that they just said? And then like maybe I can maybe I can dig into it a little bit more. And sometimes like I actually get so curious in what little I heard that I'll ask them something they already told me. Because I'm just like I'm like, you know what? Like I want to know, but like I don't want to give it away that I didn't hear it. Like, what'd you say about this again? Like that's how I'll kind of do it. Like I heard you, but I forgot, like kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um,
So that's thanks for mentioning that whole thing. I think that's what I was trying to like spit out. 'Cause yeah, it's less so focusing on like base like the plane of what they're saying, but just like going along with how they're moving and how you think that they're gonna go.
yeah.
And then like you're thinking about something and then your body's still doing the movements or still doing like the receptive stuff and it's like you kind of go to a different place. It's just weird. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I totally relate to that. So, okay, cool. So when you like make decisions, um, and I just mean like generally speaking, like what do you think like are the most important factors that you consider?
When I make decisions, um, I usually um need like help when it comes to decisions, when it comes to something that's like not in my sphere. Let's say um stuff relating to career or like business work like orders of business and stuff like that. I feel like I need a lot of other people's opinions to be able to make that because I don't know if I'm making the right decision or not. I kind of just need that because then I can like find the between like all of them sort of like evaluate the best decision.
Mhm.
Um, if it's stuff for my own, let's say I'm by myself and making my own decisions, I don't care like about other people's like I just kind of do my thing and like based on my own little fun systems.
What do you mean? Fun systems. Tell me more.
like the way I like organize stuff or the way I like go about stuff is kind of like my own way. And so I don't like being told like, oh, this is like the right way to do it, which sounds separate, like sounds like the opposite of what I said earlier, but I'm saying like, oh, like there's a right way to open this. And I'm like, I like following that to a certain degree, but like if I'm being constantly like criticized about like how I'm thinking, like I don't really like that. I kind of just feel like I care more about their opinion of me than I take that as more personal. I think I could take that
Yeah,
personally.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're like, why are you gonna hate on me for like how I'm doing like little things so long as it's getting done, right? Like,
Yeah. Yeah. And because I also like have this sort of like perfection mindset when it comes to like, let's say I have to build a couch or something that's from IKEA or something like that. I like following the instructions and I like doing stuff to a T. And let's say someone else is like, no, we should do it like this way. Um, that like I've done before or like that I think could work. I'm like, let me just follow like the instruction booklet. Okay, that's kind of contradictory, but it's not. But like,
it's
I don't
fine. I get what
know.
you're saying.
It's fine. Okay, thanks. Thanks.
Yeah,
Sorry.
I understand what you're trying to say. It's okay. Um, yeah, I think you just don't want to be nitpicked about how you're doing something. You have your way of doing things you like, and you'd rather be left alone to it. And then if you do get help, it sounds like you don't want to be critiqued about it because at the end of the day, like you're just being you and you're doing you. And so if someone can't like, I guess, accept or appreciate that you open a can a certain way or something like that, or they're gonna like really nitpick you that hard, then like, what's the point, right?
Just do it yourself then. Like, do it
Yeah,
for me then. Like,
yeah, like, all right, you care that much, like open the damn can for me, exactly. So yeah, I get that. Hmm. Um, there was something else I was gonna ask related to that. Okay, so you said like you have like a fun system. So, you kind of said like, oh, like I have my own fun way of doing things. And then you like changed it and you got more formal and you were like, oh, it's just a process. I don't like people to tell me how to do my things. But like at the same time, like I want to know like why it's fun. Like what's fun about it?
um, what I meant by that, I think I'm trying to think, what did I even mean by that? Um, I just like arranging stuff, whether that be like stuff I know, stuff that I have in my environment, or that sort of stuff. Like I kind of like do it my own way. When I said fun system, I just meant that like I do it. Like I think that stuff kind of just works. Like it doesn't need a, it's for me to
Are you
do
the
it
kind of
my,
person, are you the kind of person that like they have like those journals or like notebooks that are like all like detailed out and like written a certain way and like maybe like the way it's organized or color coded or like that kind of thing. Is that what you're talking about?
for years as a kid, I used to just love stationery because I was like I would dance so much around doing the thing, and I would just more so would like to make it look a certain way on paper or stuff like that. But then I also would get frustrated with myself and be like, this is stupid. Like, why am I doing this? Like, it's not as satisfying as it used to be. Like, I used to try to do that as a kid. Like, I used to be the one with like the like nice handwriting, like all that
Yeah, yeah,
stuff,
yeah.
but it's not really hit the same. I kind of just like don't really care anymore. But like when it comes to other stuff, I guess I just do it my own way. Like I like, yeah, yeah.
Is it because like as you've gotten older, you just have to worry more about like things that matter rather than like embellishing or making something like feel,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like the practical realities set in. I certainly feel that. What? Why are you shaking your head?
I'm just like I hate having to do stuff like that. Like real world. I just I know it's like that point in my life anyways. Like it's not super unique to me. It's just a lot of people my age having to deal with like outcomes that they have to do in order to exist in like this world, but like it's just I just would rather not. I just don't like it at all. That's what I said. I don't like receiving critiques about how I should do things because if I were to actually take all those critiques and like build my own way and take that, then I would probably be a lot more efficient. Therefore, I'd get a lot more done, and therefore, I'd like probably see myself in a different future. But I'd rather not.
You confused me a little bit there because you said like that's why you would rather not, but then you were describing all the things that like would be good about it.
But why, it doesn't. I don't want to.
Okay.
So,
Yeah.
and that's my own goal, like not goal, but like that's my own stuff to work on. So,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So what are some examples of things that like examples of what you were just talking about, right? Like what kinds of things do you feel that pressure for?
I'm thinking let's, for example, this coming semester in college, I have to start putting my foot down when it comes to like what I want to do. I mean, I'm pre-law. I want to go to law school after this, but that requires each year that I have to sort of be working towards that. And that's just naturally like you can't just do nothing the whole 4 years and then like apply to law schools and then I mean like you have to be doing stuff outside of that. So I'm like, okay, I have to make sure that I am involved with, let's just say, some of the pre-law extracurriculars that there are at my school. And then that also requires that I research law schools. And then it also requires me to um prep for the LSAT. Like there's just preparation and it's something that I know I have to do, but I'd rather not. In Even though I feel accomplished at the end of it, I definitely do when it comes to stuff, but at the beginning my mind can be skeptical and wants to like stay.
Hmm. How do you
Yeah.
how do you feel towards the future?
Oh, what is the question? I knew this was going here. So I think that the future is it's really broad.
It
I
is.
feel like can you narrow it down a bit, please? Or do you want me to just respond to this broad question?
I mean, I can add some more layers to it. I think, it doesn't necessarily have to be the distant future. It could be the next week. It could be, the next day or so. Like just generally like, I guess I'm trying to get a sense of your attitude, right? Like I think like for myself, I tend to be a lot more optimistic about the future in terms of like the world and maybe like over a really long period of time. But like day to day, I can actually be pretty cynical. So like, I think I am working on being more optimistic on a day-to-day basis. Right. So I guess that's kind of I'm just trying to get a sense of like whether you're optimistic or pessimistic, or is that over short term or a long term kind of thing.
I've been dealing a lot the past few months, with just sort of feeling out of the day to day, um, like feeling like I know I'm gonna do this tomorrow. I know I'm gonna have to do this next week, and so I get really like frustrated and like sad about it. Which is just like my own mental health stuff that I've like tried to figure out. Because I just feel that as a burden and not a reason to think farther in the future and like be optimistic about it. I just kind of feel bound. And so, for the distant future, I don't think I ponder it too much. Um, it's more in a negative light, like I said, with this whole thing of like me throwing out the day to day, but not in a way to think optimistically about the future, but more so, um, like I'm just somebody in the year 2025 and I'm living the same track that like a lot of people, and I just feel bound by the track that I'm on.
Hmm.
And like, I don't, I now realize that I've been starting to realize like that, okay, that can be, there are two sides of that coin, and that I do have power to
Right.
change what I want to change, and that's hope. But yeah,
Hmm. That's good. That's a very good realization to have. Really.
thanks.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Um, hmm. How much do you prioritize like your own emotional state or like how you feel about things?
Prioritize.
Or even if you give it a lot of attention.
Like my current emotional state.
Yeah, like how you feel, how things make you feel. How often do you think about that?
I more so think about it like in hindsight, about like how either the day or like stuff went. In the moment, I don't really like really care. I think I'd rather like reflect on it later or after events have happened or I feel differently, then I'll think about like the past thing that had happened. Um, just because I feel like I'm on the move a little bit, I'm just like more so focused on other people's than mine, and I don't really care that much. I really don't care that much. I mean, I'm talking seriously about some stuff like the future, but I don't really like care about like my current like mood. Like okay, like it's gonna pass, like whatever, like fine.
Mhm.
Um, if I'm heated in the moment, let's say I'm really like upset in the moment, like of course it's gonna be like intense, but like that's normal. Like whatever.
Do you feel like you're like when you express that when you're with other people, like you're pretty sociable and you have a pretty easy time making friends and things like that, kind of feel like a friend to everybody sort of thing. Do you
Mhm.
like how are you with them? Are you like high energy? I feel like I get this format of you. You know what I'm saying? Like with the whole video. So I'm just trying to get a sense of like how you generally would be with other people or in a group.
Um, I'm generally like it depends on who I'm with and like their mood. If they're high energy, I'm gonna be super high energy. I'm gonna be bouncing words off that they're bouncing off, and I'm gonna do all that. If they're lower energy, I'll like be a lot more slow and like try to be a lot more. I'll talk less.
Hmm.
I can be a chatterbox if other people are being chatterbox. I got that a lot in elementary school. Um, but if someone's being a lot more slow and stuff, then I can adjust to that.
Hmm.
Um, and then sometimes I just don't adjust. I mean,
Hmm.
like I do. I like keep the like stuff I have going on, like formalities. Like if they're listening, I will nod my head and stuff like that. But like sometimes I'm like not feeling my mood or their mood. I'm just like just being there for them. I'll just be like, or not even just being there for them. I'll just like I feel like there's a space that I take in between those two things. Um, what does that mean? Like, yeah, I need to think about that one.
Is it how you feel or is it just yeah, is it?
I'm thinking now, like, sort of, yeah, but like, let's say I'm sitting down with someone, I'm eating lunch. I know I have stuff to do, so I'm a little bit like, my mind's on that. Like, I'll take the time with them, but I'll still be thinking about like
Right.
how the rest of the day is gonna go and how like that, and I'll still keep up whatever. acts I have to put on, but it's I'm not going to be as like purposeful or more like active with it. I'll just be sort of like take a more passive approach.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of relate to that. I was just saying the other day that when I talk to people, I feel like I I feel the need to like I guess like engage them, and like the more that they're like talking about something, like I feel the need to like I'm sucked into their world kind of thing. But a lot of
Yeah.
times my mind is a one-track mind, and so like I'm thinking like I need to be over there. You know what I mean? You know what I mean?
No,
And so I'm like
yeah.
I'm thinking that, but I'm like dealing with them. And so sometimes I've learned to like I didn't used to do this. I used to just get caught up in people's bubble. And now what I'm like, walk with me. You know what I mean? I'm like,
Actually, I've used that one. Wait, when did I use that? I used that recently.
yeah, yeah,
Like it was, yeah.
yeah. And that way I can still be making progress. But like, but still like kind of keep up.
Hmm.
Yeah. So I get that. Hmm.
Wow.
Yeah. It seems like we have some similarities there, huh?
Hmm.
Yeah. Hmm. Let me think for a moment, if you don't mind.
No worries, yeah. Take your time.
Hmm. So, how do you feel about your ability to use force or to apply force? Like if you need to put pressure on somebody or, is it something that you feel like you can do?
Okay, let me be honest. Let me think. Let me take time to think.
Okay.
Okay, with people, I sometimes correlate that with me correcting people
Mm,
when it comes to like how they're thinking and like I sound like a hypocrite now, but like how like I see things or like how I think things should be done. And so I think I kind of do that. I have siblings. I'm the oldest
mm,
child, so
mm.
that's kind of some I butt in a lot with like my own way of doing things and I'm like just do that or like just yeah. And so and I don't like to take the heat, so I'll be honest about that. But applying force when it comes to people outside of my family, I feel like when it comes to friends or people, uh, I'd rather let them do that. Um, I'd rather let them when it comes to, this isn't force, but when it comes to decision making or like stuff like that, or like making me do something or go somewhere, I would rather let them do that because I know I'll have a good experience with somebody regardless because I get to like be with the person. Um, I can for okay, this is about me. I can do it. I can be like, I need, I can't evaluate myself like on just that like phrase, like applying force. I'm trying to think of,
Well, so I can see that you're switching context a couple times, which is fine. You're trying to cover different sides of it, right? So I see what you're talking about. So,
yeah.
like for one, you said that like you prefer to like when it comes to like doing things your way, right? You're not really so worried about that because you know that you're going to have a good experience with people regardless. And so that's a great I mean that tells me a lot, right? Like you you're not like necessarily stuck to what you want to do. You're open to doing things with other people, what they want to do even because you know that you're going to have a good time regardless and that you're spending time with them. Um, I think the other side of that is, Well, the one that I want to know about is like, what about setting boundaries, right? Like, if you need to set boundaries, how are you with that?
My mind jumped to like the most extreme case that I've had, or not the most extreme, but pretty extreme with like one of my really good friends who I'm still good friends with to this day. But I had to be honest with her because I had just been for a few months been taking a lot of disrespect in social settings, which
Mm,
I take that the most personally and stuff, and like just little stuff that added up over time. And so I had to talk to her face to face about it, and it was really hard. And like thinking about it, I was just like, I was shaking saying it. I was just like, like it was a lot, and I bounced as soon as like I could barely even gave her time to talk. I was like, can we just talk later? Like I can't do this. Like let me just go. Um, I've been a bit better in other situations, like with boundaries. If somebody one-on-one like assumes something wrong, like I feel like in a group, like I'm more so likely to stand my ground now about myself, or just would be like, but it's hard because I don't like to piss people off or like get into arguments with people. So,
why?
um, I'd rather. I don't like disag I like disagreeing when it's in like a controlled setting,
Mhm.
like if we're having a conversation about some topic distant from ourselves. But when it comes to stuff that's like between that's like near and dear to both of us, like I'm saying us as in like me and some other person,
Mhm.
um,
Something you're passionate about.
I'd rather not disagree because it just makes me feel uncomfortable.
Mhm. Mhm. Almost like the difference being you know, it sounds kind of like the difference between like a discussion, which is more exploratory, right?
Hmm.
And like something where it's like really deep for somebody. And so like
Yeah.
maybe like just by like talking about something, you're almost violating them or something like that.
Yeah, or they say
That-
that I'm being too deep because I like get passionate about it, and then that like makes me upset.
Yeah. Yeah. What kinds of things do you get like that with?
Um, since I think I'm a pretty like we talked about me being like attentive to other people's feelings. I can get too deep into that sort of stuff with people, or like my thoughts about that, and they sort of like can be like, oh, like you're like since you're really sensitive, or since you're really like that word being used negatively to me, or like, oh, since you're um I can't find a better word. There's probably words been used, but I can't recall one. But
I
that's usually an example.
I almost feel the need to apologize for asking you such broad questions. I feel like I'm
Why?
huh? Well, I feel like I'm putting you in a position where you have to try to like answer in different ways, you know. Um,
Wait. That's not bad. That hold on, my headphones are about to die. Let me just go to my computer audio.
no worries.
Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not bad though. I appreciate you like doing that because I'd rather not like you open up the
Mm.
floor and then I sort of like discover along my way. And that's yeah. Yeah.
We've found our way. I think we've done pretty good, all things considered. Uh,
Hmm.
so I think I know your type.
Wait,
Uh,
really?
yeah,
Of
yeah.
course you do.
I think it's pretty clear. Um, you know, I think you're an SEI. Yeah, there you go. Yeah, yeah,
Yay. And it's like I have the exact same thing that I was like typed as like a year ago. Like, yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I knew that you knew that because on the server you have yourself tagged as one, but I did not see anything inconsistent with that whatsoever. Um, I think there's a lot of similarities between you and me based off of just that rational axis. It's like the way that we talk to other people, the way that we sort of do things for other people in a lot of ways. Not really focused on ourselves and how we feel about things very often. Uh,
Yeah.
and just, engaging with people and putting on that, um, you know, just, I guess in a way, just almost modulating yourself for the world, right? Or for other people and like those interact
Hmm.
conversations and being there for them. I think that's something that's pretty common for you, the way you've been talking about it, as well as, you know, you're not like necessarily you do that for just about anybody. It's not like you're closed off or that you are selective and in choosing like I only do it with this person or with that person. Like it seems like you're kind of open to
Hmm.
people and experiences, um, and being that for people in different ways. So that's pretty clear. Um, you when you talked about like music and stuff, you seem like you had like you kind of said that like when you try to improvise, sometimes it'll feel like the things that you're doing are like something that's already, you
I
know.
knew that was going to be very revealing. Like by saying that's why a lot of this stuff, like I don't know what else you're gonna say, but some of the stuff I was like, this is gonna really reveal my hand, and so I was debating whether or not I'd say it, and then
Why I could kind of sense that. Why were you so hesitant to answer questions that you knew were going to be revealing?
because I just feel like I didn't want it to be so like overt for some stuff. Like
Yeah.
I feel like actually that was a good example though. I feel like that wasn't too overt. But like when we started talking about strategy, I was like, okay, like this is kind of dealing my hand. Like the interest itself could maybe lead you to think that I'm not an SI base, but like I think the music one was good. That one was good. I feel like that was good because I mean like exploring like there's your any and then like all like yeah, like
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you felt like by working like trying to improvise, a lot of times you were copying from a different style or that it seems similar and you were like, this is too much like this other thing already that, and so creating something like unique or original was not like super easy. But you seem to have an interest in doing that. When you talked about like having different ideas and stuff like that, it was something that doesn't like, it's not something that you just do like whenever you want. It's sort of like you're waiting around for it to happen. And then when it does, it's like you have to act on it, or it feels like, it's almost like
Yeah.
you lose the energy, you lose the desire to explore it. And when it feels fresh, it's new and exciting. And so, we didn't even really talk about like how you are with other people in regard to like if like people who do bring up lots of different ideas and perspectives like excite you and get you like more charged and motivated. But I would imagine you would probably say yes if I did ask you that, right? Um, Go
It can
ahead.
be a little too much sometimes too. Like I do like it's really good like for me in general, but like do I like to think that it is in the moment? Sometimes I'm like, no, I'm like sometimes it's too many ideas. But then when you hear me talking like this whole thing,
Mhm.
you hear me it's kind of me engaging in that sometimes. And it's
Mhm.
like I don't do that often, I realize, like by myself. I mean, this conversation has brought up a lot of that, but like that's why I think I would kind of like also like stop mid-sent. Like I would just do a lot of that,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
going down roads.
Yeah, rabbit holes, right? Yeah, no, this format kind of forces you. I actually find it funny. I've talked about this before. This whole format is really cool to me because, like I said earlier, you get to know somebody else, and you're also like there's a system that you're approaching. But that system allows me to have like an excuse to like you basically have to let me like ask you these questions and answer them. It's like what you signed up for. Um,
Yeah.
and so like it's a really cool format. Like I never would have recognized it unless I had been in it, like,
Hmm.
and been like, oh wow, like this is actually really cool. Like when do you get to do that, in your life? Like where you just get to ask a
Exactly.
bunch of questions and someone else doesn't get to like ask you back or challenge you back. Most of the time, people are like uncomfortable and they're like, you know what? No, like, but because there's a goal here, it's like people are just open. It's a very cool kind of way to interact with people.
Hmm.
But yeah, I forgot how we got here in regard to that, um, but yeah, no, like, oh yeah, this whole conversation didn't, sort of force you to have to try to answer questions that, I mean, honestly, that's my style of questioning a lot of times is just asking like these broad questions. I think it's because, I know that I do have a hard time asking specifics, admittedly. Um, but, there's a benefit to broad questions because you kind of get to see where someone decides to take it.
Yes,
So it's
very
like,
true.
okay, like, but at the same time, like for people, there are some people who are good at filling in the blanks. Oh, do you mean this? Do you mean that? Do you mean that? And I'm like, oh, all of those. Tell me about all of them. But but then other times, like it can be challenging because it's like if someone doesn't have that ability to like bring up like lots of different things, and it's just like, how do I answer this? And I could see you doing that. Which I think, even just that in itself was like contributes a little bit to like extrovert intuition and your ability to like recognize these different concepts, which I could see you doing. You know, you were trying to answer the questions from like different angles and like capture different parts of it. But it did seem like you like were struggling a little bit to like to generate them. So it might have been a little demanding, but like
Yeah.
but overall, like, I mean, in general, even when we're talking about like the pragmatic stuff, the practical things in your life, did you want to say something?
Oh no, go ahead. Yeah.
When it comes to like the pragmatic or like practical things in your life, you're like, oh, I don't really want to be bothered by all these things, but like you still kind of had a sense um that like when people are telling you how to do things like a certain way or like yeah, like maybe there may be some practical benefit, but it almost feels like you feel a pressure. And so like them expecting you to do it a certain way is insulting almost. Uh,
Yeah.
whereas like, if you look at like an ILE or your dual, it's like they don't value TE. So like at the end of the day, like they're gonna provide that stuff without the expectation. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They're just
So
gonna be
that's
like, oh,
why they're awesome in
yeah,
my
yeah,
opinion.
exactly. They're not gonna be like, what the fuck are you doing, dude? Like they're probably gonna be like, hey, like, did you know that you could do it this way? You know what I mean? And that's like you're gonna be a lot more receptive to that, right? Um, so yeah, I mean, and as far as like relationships, like I think like it's pretty clear that, that's something that you have an ability with. You can keep up with people pretty well. Um, but again, like just through the whole conversation, it's pretty clear that you're like FE valuing, you're focused on, other people and your presentation and things like that. Um, so, and then, another interesting thing was like you have like these particular like topics or like interests that you're really interested in like getting like an understanding of. And, it sounded like there were a lot of different components, like, maybe it's like the way these people are thinking or the way that they're approaching like the game or the situation that they're in for the strategy game, for Survivor, for Big Brother. But then also like um you're like taking notes and like you're building your own sort of version of it, I suppose you could say, of like what when you do it with your friends, like what that's going to look like. But that whole aspect of like um trying to like understand different things. And another thing I noticed in particular was that like uh when you would explain like why you were interested, it was almost like you weren't sure. because you it sounded like you were trying to describe the things that you have learned or noticed in the past kind of thing, right? Like almost like rather than like being like super aware of like why you like it, it seemed like you just were enjoying it. And then
Hmm.
like maybe there were aspects of it that like would stand out to you at different points. And so I suppose even that could be like an indication of like, that extrovert intuition, like being like, oh, like grabbing different like ideas or like points of view, like as you're experiencing it, right? Uh,
Hmm.
so there's that. And then also like when you were talking about like that you have like your way of doing things, like your own sort of method, and even like kind of caught you saying it was fun. Which you kind of went back on and like it sounds like you've got your own things you're worried about, so it's not as big a priority, um but it sounds like you do like to do things your way and kind of enjoy like your sort of structure. It almost feels like you have like it almost feels like yours, if that's how I could describe it. So yeah, I think SEI was pretty clear. Um and I'm glad that we were able to figure that out. What do you think? What are your thoughts?
Um, I can be pretty like doubtful about what I think. Like I believe, or like if I come to conclusions, I like thinking that, but then I sometimes doubt myself because I like want other people's
Hmm.
perspectives and opinions. And so this was great because, um, yeah, um, SCI, yeah, yeah. I'm glad that we got to talk about this because, the last person who had typed me or whatever, is an ILE,
Uh-huh.
and which was cool. And then now I'm talking with an IEI, and
Yeah.
so the ways that we, or at least the way this conversation went in my head, appeared like we were a lot of times, since we do with the rational functions, like did go about it in such a similar way. Um, it was just so interesting to see
Yeah.
because I come to my own conclusions about what types I think people are in my own life based on my own observations, but then also I do conversations like this. Like
Yeah.
I actually have had a few conversations with friends and done long conversations with broad questions.
Yeah.
And although it does take me longer, I do feel like I do narrow down sometimes to like a group of types or maybe two types, or like I try to do that in my own life. I didn't mention that, but doing this with someone who's like very does a similar approach when it comes to at least the FETI part of it,
Right.
it's really interesting. I
Yeah.
don't know, because I never know. I'm like, I really am confident about this person's type because I've know like about the amount of times I talk to them and the amount of dynamic situations I've been with them in,
Right.
and so it's, huh?
Yeah, I said right. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And but then I doubt myself, so at least like thank you for like at least bringing like I don't know. It's so cool to like yeah. I don't
Yeah.
know.
Yeah, I mean, I get it. I think my friend said uh once that he feels like ethical types uh have like an advantage in trying to type people. Um and I think that's both true and false. I think in the case of like I think my type, there's a good mix because it's intuitive content. You have to understand the system. You have to understand, you have to have like, which, if someone really worked at it, even if they didn't have great introverted logic, they could still understand it. But I think it's the combination of, being socially apt and seeing things that maybe other people don't see and like in people. I think that does breed a lot of insight because even like just the way someone describes something, like if I ask you a question and you answer it, but like you answer it like kind of like downtrodden, that has its own information, and I can kind of challenge you on it and be like,
Yep.
what was all that about, man?
Yeah.
Like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And I
And
recognized when you were doing that too. Like I was very aware. I'm like, shoot, like I knew whenever I would do something like that and then you would respond to it a certain way. then I'd be aware that like I was giving you part of that because I know that you're receptive to that information and building your so like
So it was it interesting to like talk to somebody that you know has like creative FE and like demonstrate it and like and is similar to you in that way? Like, was that an interesting experience, would you say?
very interesting because once again like I'm pretty sure you're confident in your own type, and then and I am about my type because like for real now. But like
Real now.
um there's a comfort in me knowing that we both somewhat like know our types in this theory and being able to like have a like pure conversation and like seeing that framework of like oh SEI IEI conversation but then seeing it like play out is very just the experience that's what I'm trying to say like is very
Yeah.
in totality yeah
What was that?
it's my mom but she's not talking to me
Okay.
okay
Yeah.
anyways
Yeah, no, it does help to learn socionics through like people that you know are very verified a certain type. That's certainly true. Um, and you know, that's that also like when people get typed, I on my server, I put like a type verified tag on them. So there you
okay
go. Like that's a cool thing you can do to like to get to know other types and stuff as well. Um, yeah, the other girl that I typed right before this session that I'm going to post in a couple days on YouTube was an IEI.
say that
So
again
IEI.
oh wait really
Yeah, yeah,
cool
yeah. And
wait
it
so
was
that's
yeah, yeah, it's crazy. But actually, what was wild about it was that she looked a lot like an EII for a lot of the video. I would
okay
not say that was true for you. I think that like you looked like an SCI the whole time. The thing is, it's like, you know, just because someone looks like a certain type doesn't mean it is their type, you know?
right
And so in her case, it's like, well, she kind of had this like, I don't know how to put it, like very wholesome, like um, I just didn't see a lot of the SC seeking. It was very hard to find. Um, but I kept getting like signals that something was off. And I was like, I don't know, like that's not exactly the answer that I would have expected. Um, and so the further I looked, it became more and more clear.
oh wow
Yeah, it's a cool process, man. And honestly, like socionics is such an interesting topic. And to be able to, you know, that's why I take typing so seriously as well. Is because I know that the more people out there that know their type and are confident in their type, the better it can spread, because at the end of the day, like if like a bunch of people are out there and they think their type is one thing and then like nothing they say is coherent or makes sense in line with the theory, and like they have this sounds crazy, but I actually know of a person who was mistyped and built a whole version of Socionics based on their mistype. So like their elements are like switched and like it's weird. Um, and so like, their types are switched and the elements are switched, and it's all based off the fact that they just had a bad impression. They were like, Socionics is wrong. We need to change it.
wow
And so like,
that's
yeah,
wow go ahead no sorry yeah
you were like, you were gonna say something?
no no no
You're like, no.
no I mean I want to hear what you have to say first.
Yeah, no, just but it's just cool because when you can like have some level of certainty in people's type, it gives you a basis for like consistency across the community, and a foundation for learning the system better and understanding how it works, and what's all involved in it. And I
Mm.
honestly like I really think that knowing your type is like the easiest way to learn. um it's like I remember when I was first getting into socionics, it's like I struggled with it. And then like when I did finally like know my type, it really helped to connect the dots and be like, oh, that's why I do this, and that's why this makes so much sense. And I think like people can tell too when they're typed correctly because their knowledge of the system increases significantly because they can just verify themselves. And that's why, it's cool because you're actually kind of like practicing socionics just by like, you know what I mean? Just by
Yeah,
listening
yeah.
to yourself.
That's what I was doing the entirety of. Basically, I don't know if I mentioned this earlier, but are you aware of the YouTube channel Talking with Famous People?
Yes, yeah, I know Eric.
So back last August, I was actually typed by him
Oh,
as an SEI, as an ISFJ in MBTI.
I don't even know what system he uses.
He
No.
uses his own system,
Yeah.
but but he uses the lettering of MBTI, and so he was like, "You're consistent with ISFJ," but in a similar format to um Model A
Mm.
of in a similar format, but he has his own way of doing stuff too. So from that moment on, basically what you were saying about the like cross-referencing and thinking about your type, it really does like reveal you to a lot in your life that like you really I did so much, and I mean so much of like self-analyzing behavior to the point where I just literally had to like set aside like some of the theory because I'm like, you're doing so like every day I would just be like,
Yeah. I get
yeah,
it. I get it.
yeah.
Honestly, I think that there is an aspect of this theory which is very infectious. It's like I think that there was a time when I started to really understand it. There was a time where I could not disconnect it from anything because you think about what we're talking about. We're talking about people. We're also talking about a theory that is supposed to literally break down information to its parts. Okay, so it's like it's it could apply to nearly anything, you know. And I think that's what makes it kind of difficult. I already have the kind of mind that is trying to apply things in a really broad way. So
Hmm.
it's like even worse that this is such a versatile topic. Like
Yeah.
I have it was to the point where like I'd meet people and they'd be like socionic skeletons to me and like I wouldn't even notice like all the like personal things about them.
You're that's so
Yeah.
so real. And the thing is, I'm a chatterbox about it. So like my roommate and like a lot of my friends know about like my passion for it. And it's like we always just talk about it. And like the thing is like when you meet someone off the bat, it's like immediately like observing stuff and just like trying to build something when it's like you really don't have to, but like because you
Yeah.
know the theory, it's like
Yeah.
in yourself too. And
Yeah.
also we're FE creative, so it like that's perfect. Like come on, like it's just yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. So I totally get it. I feel like I had to like for a while I took like a break. I took a hiatus and just like started to get to know people in a more personal way, I think. Because I don't even really think I ever cared to do that before. And so
Okay.
yeah, yeah. So I started to like focus on that more and then, be like, well, this is what really makes a person, like
Hmm.
outside of socionics. Socionics is fascinating, it's interesting, but it's not everything. And so now I kind of feel like I have a sense of where to place it and like its sort of place relative to other things, I guess you could say. Um,
I
so
can see that.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But
Well, good for you for that. I mean, like that takes strength because it's easy to apply something you learn to every situation and then never stray from it. I mean, like, yeah,
yeah. But there's more to life, but it's certainly I think there is something profound about socionics. And I think that's why I came back because ultimately it's like the things that I notice in this theory is quite compelling, you know. So, yep. Well, shoot, man, it's been a good time. We had some good conversation and now I can go put type verified on your name in the Discord. So
and also you should take a break
yeah. Yeah, oh yeah. I'm
and
about to watch a show. Yeah.
go do that. Yeah, thank you so much, Trey. This is so awesome. I'm really grateful to be able to talk to you and just talk about this stuff. So yeah, thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. And anytime on the server, just tag me, man.
All right, you're awesome. Thank you.
Great day.
All right, bye bye.